5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bombs away! G'day people, this is from Monster Dad. Welcome back to this Space Engineers single player survival. There goes the cargo drone, just lifted off from the base again. Running nicely. Discovered one problem though, it's filling up my cargo space down here in the factory area. I just put a few small cargo containers there to hold the ice before as it gets processed, and it just can't. My processor just can't keep up with the ice coming in, so I'm probably gonna have to slow that down. But welcome back. I did a couple of things off camera so that we could do something this episode, something a bit special. As you can see, Vader's still not back in his spot there, the large rover. Yeah. This is what's left of the large rover now. I did manage to turn it back over without any incident at all, any more damage. I then popped it onto the connector I had over here, because this is the connector that I was parking the large rover to so that I could feed stuff from the ready-made components into it so I could drive it around as like a mobile constructor. But exactly the same thing happened. I disconnected from this connector, and instead of just flying up into the air, it actually exploded and flew up into the air. The wheels all flew off. 3 wheels are scattered around the ice field. One wheel is still on it and is still over there at the moment. And that's pretty much what's left of it as it landed. So a little bit annoyed about that, and I'm giving up on it. I'll collect the debris at some point, but yeah, I'm going to have to go with a constructor ship, I think, rather than a constructor rover. So I'm going to have to think of a design for that one. I've built one in the past that I've used, but I'll probably go with something like that. It's very much like just oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? One of the aerial cranes, sky crane type design. But yeah, I'll probably get down to that. I did build something off camera. This little beauty here. This is my bomber. It's very loosely, and I say very loosely, based on a Y-wing design from Star Wars. And we're going to use it today to take out that bunker. So the basic principle of this is there are some. Let me just get down here. This is basically the loading bay for it. So there's 3 merge blocks on each side of the wings, and I'll show you what we'll do with those in a little while. Basically we merge payloads onto it, set it up so that it can drop payloads above the enemy bases. This bit here, this conical shape bit, is actually a targeting camera, and what I've done with that is I've done it inside a tube like this, put it inside a tube, the camera, so that it gives me a better view when I'm over an enemy target, so that I can actually try and get right over it. And what I've done there is I've used an atmospheric thruster, just partly built. I've painted it the bright red, which is the Bob ignore this colour red for building. And the reason I've used that, I tried a few different things, but the thruster has this inner frame, this inner frame inside it, which ends in a little circle in the center, and it's absolutely perfect for using for the targeting camera. Let me just get in and I'll show you what I mean. So I think it's number 5. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the view from the camera, so you can get right over a target, get it under that circle there, like a targeting reticule, and you know that you're pretty much directly above the target as long as you've got the ship level, and then you can drop your payloads knowing that they should pretty much land where you want them to land. So what I'm going to do is get straight on with putting a payload on this, and I'll show you what I'm going to do first, or what I'm going to try. I don't want to destroy too much of that bunker because it's so close to the crash site, and we're going to put a memorial. That's easier to think that word than say it. We're going to place a memorial to the Pilgrim's Pride there. We'll call it the Pilgrim's Rest, the memorial, I think. And because that bunker's so close to it, I think it's only about 30 or 40 meters away from it. I think we'll keep the bunker intact. So we'll take out the weapons, hopefully with the payload from this. And then we'll go down, place a hacking computer on it, take over the bunker completely, repair the weapon systems, put some ammunition inside it, and then the bunker can then protect the memorial once we've built it. Because when we do go out scouting and flying around, there's always the opportunity we'll attract attention of enemy drones that may follow us back to the base. So if they do follow us over the crash site or get too close to that, at least the bunker can then defend that memorial. So yeah, that's the thought of that. So I want the bunker intact, or as intact as we can keep it, that is. Do I have building supplies on me? Yeah, I should have enough. What I want to try first, I want to try lots of different ways to take out enemy bases, and one of the things I want to try this time will be to parachute drop some Gatling guns above it. So we'll fly to about 1,000 meters above it, detach some armed Gatlings that will float down on parachutes in slow time, and hopefully destroy all the guns before they are all destroyed as well. And the thing about putting them on parachutes as well is when they do land, if we succeed, we can always recover all the parts that are left over from it as well. So almost reusable. So basically what we want to do is get a few things in our hotbar first. So we need merge blocks. We will need Gatlings, obviously, the turrets we're going to use. We will need a parachute hatch. I don't have any canvas. I need to make some canvas. I'm not sure what I need for that. I should have the resources for it. What else do we need? Battery. I do have a battery mod. Let's go to power blocks. I do have a battery mod. This is I think it's called the compact battery mod. And this provides a lot of alternative batteries that are much smaller than the big old batteries in the vanilla set. They are balanced. The power they provide is relative to their size, but you can get smaller sizes than the big square batteries, and they're much more useful. And I'll show you what I mean once we place one of those. Let me get my color back to normal. So we've got battery, parachute, Gatling, merge block. I think that's all we need. Okay, while we build that, I'm going to go and make sure we've got some canvas being made, and I'm also going to make sure we have enough ammunition for these bad boys. I'm not going to put a lot of ammunition in it because they shouldn't really need much. See, these are the small containers that I put in that are collecting the ice prior to being processed. That one was full, so it's actually beginning to get through, but yeah, I'm going to run out of space pretty quickly with those, so I'm going to have to slow down the drone. Okay, what was I doing? I was going to start some production, so let's have a look. So you need to put canvas inside these. We're going to drop 6, so I don't want to make 100, do I? Do you know what? I'll make 100 anyway, because we're going to try lots of different things, and lots of times it will require parachutes for it to get it to work. We also need, in fact, no, let's get the ammunition done. I don't know how much of this I already have, but let's just do 100 of them at the moment. That should do us for now. Very noisy in this factory. Okay, so whilst that's being processed, I'll show you what I intend to do with this. I built this loading bay specifically so I could get underneath it and put the different payloads onto it. So I've got the room to do that. Yeah, I think I haven't tested it yet completely whether I can fit the stuff on, but I guess we'll find out in a moment. So Bob should be active, I think. So basically what we want are merge blocks built onto these. I'll do this side first. And then what we'll have is 3, 4, 5 blocks should be enough. I'll just complete this bit, then you'll get a good idea of what I'm looking at, and then what I'll do is I'll just skip ahead to the completion of all 6. So Gatling will go actually one on each side, so let me just hover over here and turn these around. Oh, do you know what? The bounding box for the one this side, this is interfering with it slightly, so I think, yeah, we'll just lower that one. That's fine. That should be all good. So there'll be a Gatling each side, so on each payload will consist of 2 Gatling guns. We need a parachute. 1 parachute should be more than enough. We need to be able to access the parachute to get the canvas in, so I'll put it like that so we can get to the access point for it. Oh no, we're not going to be able to get to the access point for that because I'm going to put the battery in the way. So the parachute should be that way so that we can access its inventory to add the canvas. Let's put that there. And then what we'll do, it needs power, otherwise the parachute won't open and the guns won't fire. So this little battery, they're very cheap, these batteries, but they don't provide a lot of power, but it will be more than enough power for the purposes of this. I'm wondering whether I put that parachute too high. No, it should be fine. Should be fine there. And that's it. That's the basic design of the payload. So double Gatlings, a small compact battery and a parachute, and that will be enough to get these working as long as we put some ammunition in it and sort out the targeting parameters for it. But I'll do that when we fit them all. I'll go into the cockpit and I can do it from there. Because they're merged to the vehicle, I can access the control panels for all this stuff within there. And I'll show you how we're going to set them off when we do it. So what I'm going to do is add the rest of these Gatlings, the payload, on this bomber, and I'll get back to you. So I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, welcome back. I'm just putting the last of the inventory in. So a bit of canvas into the parachute, and I'm just putting 10 of the ammo containers into each of the Gatlings. So I've used 6 canvas and 120 ammo containers in total for these. So I'm just going to jump into the cockpit and configure a few things. This fairly simple design, this bomber. It really is just a delivery platform. It looks better at night with the lights. The only sort of unusual things with this, I guess, I have put a remote control on it because there's a couple of ways that I do want to take things out. Oh, I need the components for a hacking computer. I'll grab those in a moment. My intention is to, in a couple of times, is do a commando jump with some payloads. I'll need to have decoys as part of the payloads there so I don't get shot on the way down. But I want to be able to bring the vehicle down when I'm done. So yeah, I'll need to take components for an aerial with me and build an aerial wherever I end up landing to bring this down. Timer blocks, they'll become apparent in a moment why I've got those, but I just need to go and get the components for a hacking computer, because I want to be able to build one of those once we're done with that. And what do I need for that? Hack. So I'm going to put it in my hotbar. It'll be a large one. Yeah, lots of computers, 10 superconductors. What do we want? So steel plate check, computers check, conductors check, display check, motor check, large tube check, check all round. Oops, wrong button. Okay, so I've got everything I need for my hacking computer build once we've neutralized the guns. So let me just get into the cockpit and I'll show you how I'm going to set this up. So let's have a look. So the Gatlings, I'm going to set maximum range off on the meteors. We'll go on the missiles just in case there's a rocket turret shooting at us. Small ships off, large ships off, characters off, neutrals off. Now, one thing I'm not sure about, and I guess I'm going to find out in a moment, if I put target stations off, will it still target the turrets? Do you know what? I don't know. If I leave it, I know if I leave it on target station, it'll start shooting the station to pieces until it's taken out everything that's got a computer in it. Let's do it, and we'll do a save beforehand just to make sure. I guess it's a good way to find out what that setting actually does. So they're all on and should be ready to go. Yep, good. Now, parachute. Hatch. 6 of those. Now, I'm going to turn those off at the moment because I don't want to set them off. Okay, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm not going to have an auto deploy height. I'm going to open them when the merge blocks are released. So let's do a group on that one. Shoots and merge blocks. Let's do a group with that. Okay, so that's all the merge blocks. So we've got the merge blocks, we've got the parachutes. Gatlings are fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the timer block. Why are the timer blocks selected under merge? Okay, let's do that again. That could have been disastrous. So what I'm going to do with the timer block is I'm going to use the timer block to deploy the payloads. So I'm going to have a delay of 10 seconds, and the actions with this one will be to I've actually, when I was practicing, I set them up. Let's just remove this lot so I can make sure we've got the right ones in there. So the merge blocks will be toggled off. That will release all the merge blocks and drop all the Gatlings. The chutes will be switched on because they're currently off, and they will be opened. They're currently closed. So when I kick off timer block 2, after 10-second delay, it will drop all the merge blocks and open the parachutes, deploy the parachutes. Hopefully. And then as the Gatlings get within firing range of the base, they should start kicking some butt. Let's go do it. Let's get a decent view. So yeah, so there's the payload. Hopefully I've got enough thrust on this to keep it up. It doesn't seem to be dropping. I did put the tier 1 thrusters on it for the up thrust, and just a couple of them amongst the thrusters for the side thrust. But apart from that, they're all normal thrusters. So let's get to a good position. Target our camera. I am going to go into spectator cam for this because I just want I want to see how it works and whether it works. So I played around with something like this, but I've never really done it for real, so to speak. So we need to make sure we're flat as we get over the target, and then we can use the targeting camera to make sure we're right on the line. So we'll get roughly over it first. Now let's go to camera 5. So we need to back up a touch. And we'll get the bunker right in the center of the reticule. That should be fine because the target camera is slightly forward of the payloads, so that should work. As you can see, there are a number of turrets around the outside of the actual bunker. So I'm going to get the spectator cam ready. I don't know where it is at the moment. It's not far. Actually, it's just above us. Cool. Oh, it's right here. Oh, do you know why that is? I think I flew over to check it, to test the best way to get to know that I was directly above it. And that's why I came up with the idea with this targeting camera, because it seemed to be the most accurate way to make sure you're right above it. Okay, so we've got our camera ready, and I should be able to actually do what I need to do from here. So if I press K, I can go to timer block 2. And do you know what, before we set that off, let's do a save. Just in case that setting on the Gatlings prevents them from firing. At least we'll know then. Okay, so let's set off the timer block, and after 10 seconds everything should work. So start, and that's having a countdown. So in a few seconds all the payloads should release and the parachute should open. There they go. So far so good. The only problem with this is they are very tightly packed together, but you could separate them by using a number of timers and releasing them at intervals, which I'll probably do when I start using decoy blocks as well. They'll take a little bit of time to get within range, won't they? Let me just get down. So they've got a range of 600 meters. So if we get to there, so we're just beneath the 600 meter mark now, so when they get level to us they should start opening fire. If they don't, then we know that setting target stations actually prevents them from shooting turrets as well, and then we will need to go back to our save and change that setting rather than go back. I mean, I could go back to the base and build it all again, but you know what, you know, we're testing. Okay, so any moment we should start seeing some bullets fly. Anytime now, whenever you're ready, boys. Okay, so they're firing at us and we're not firing at them. So that setting must prevent Gatlings from actually firing at turrets as well then. Now that's really disappointing, because the problem with that is that when they target the station, they actually start tearing the whole station apart. Okay, so I'll be back to you in a moment when I've loaded this. It takes a minute or so to load with all the mods. Welcome back. Alright, let's go in and change those Gatling settings. So we do need them to target stations. So now we know what that setting does. Cool. Okay. So that should be good to go now. Let me get back into spectator cam so we can watch the show. We'll set off timer 2. Start. It's counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bombs away! Well, I guess they're not bombs really, are they? But they're good enough. So let's get down to our 600 meter mark again and see what happens when it gets there. I can't believe how close that spawned to our crash site. That's incredible. Okay, so we're in position now. We just need these bad boys to catch up with us. I was thinking about these aerial vehicles as well. I think what we'll do with those is test some long-range weapons and missiles against these things. I think they'll be a good little target to test things like that. That should be fun. And if anybody else has suggestions about ways to attack these bases, feel free to leave a comment. I don't want to do the same thing every time. Some of them probably will be similar, but I certainly don't want to do the same thing every time. There they go, they're firing. Let's go down and see what's happening. Wow. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm going to have much of this base left. Holy shamoly. Well, they're definitely targeting the turrets first, aren't they? And the antenna. Unfortunately, they are ripping this base apart. Oh. Ah, I've had a crash. Okay, I'll load the game again and see what happens. Welcome back. For some reason the game didn't like that and it crashed. Not sure why, but let's just make sure. I wish they'd have these Gatlings so you could target turrets. That's a real shame, because they were ripping that base apart, weren't they? Okay. Well, I'm going to get into spectator mode again. Let's set this timer off, and what I'll do is I'll get back to you in a moment once they've got within firing range. No reason for you to sit there and watch them float down their parachutes again. So I'll be back with you in a moment. Later. Okay, I've taken a save this time at this point, so they should start firing at any moment. I can see this little turret here has spotted them and is trying to target them. But yeah, I probably went a bit overkill on the Gatlings on this one. It's only got 4 little internal turrets around its exterior. Should be in firing range any moment. And let's see the devastation. Come on, come on. Any time today? There we go. Wow. So it targeted the aerial first, and then the turrets. Holy shamoly, Batman. Yeah, a little bit overkill, I think, on the weaponry. Oh dear. Well, so much for having this base, this bunker, as the protection for the memorial. Hopefully they'll run out of ammo in a moment. We might as well get back in the ship and fly down there. I don't think there's any danger for us now. Well, they've stopped fire. Oh no, they're still firing. It looks like they're easing off with the firing now. Either they've run out of targets or they've run out of ammunition. I suspect they've run out of targets. They did take some damage though. That's interesting. Now, I wonder if we're going to get shot as we lower. We'll get ready to run away just in case, because I'm pretty sure this thing has some internal turrets as well. It all depends where they're still functional. It certainly doesn't look like there's much functional on that thing. Oh my word. That took that apart, didn't it? I should have brought a rifle, shouldn't I? That was a bit careless, wasn't it? We'll inspect those in a moment and just see how much damage they did take, but wow. I mean, wow. You know what we'll do is we'll stick this hacking computer on here. Where can I get it? Can I get it on anywhere? Got to be somewhere. Do you know what? There's probably no power, is there? Oh, there's nothing left of it, is there? Wow. Wow. Oh, I don't think I need you on there, do I? Oh, it's got a fair bit of ammo. Still. Doesn't look like there are any turrets still functional. Doesn't look like there's much of anything still functional, does there? Can't I even get in? That was a little bit too effective, I think. Definitely proved the concept though, that's for sure. I think that might have been the door once upon a time. Yep, sure was. Yeah, it had quite a few internal turrets, but they seem to be goners. Well, we've got ownership, that's for sure. Okay, well. Guess we'll have to build our own defences around the memorial. Can I even get out? I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Holy shamoly, Batman. They kicked some butt, seriously. So what kind of damage did we sustain? It looks like most of our stuff is pretty much intact. Did they empty their ammo? No, they didn't use much of their ammo at all, did they? Wow. So just a few guns damaged. Yeah. Batteries still intact in all of them. Yeah, it looks like it. I'm extremely pleased with how that went. I'm disappointed it didn't leave more of the bunker for us to use, but really, really pleased with how that went. I'm going to have to build a constructor and salvage ship and get up here and take all this apart. But yeah, really pleased. Okay, well I'm going to take the Y-wing back. Good job, buddy. You did good. Let's head home. We're doing more gyros on this thing, I think. Cool beans. I'm not sure how it would fare against a really well defended base. I think it would put up a pretty good show though. I mean, they certainly come down slowly enough to have plenty of time to take things apart with their guns. So yeah, I mean, as long as there are a few guns functional at the end of it, then yeah, all will be good. I probably need a bit more braking thrust on this thing. Yeah, I think I do. But the targeting system worked pretty good. I mean, they landed, must have been only 20 or 30 meters away, if that, from the actual base. So really pleased with the targeting system. That worked out a treat. All in all, I would say that was successful. It's not the easiest thing to fly this, but I guess it doesn't need to be really. As long as it can deliver its payload where it needs to be. I try and land it dead center so that I can make sure I can get to all the merge blocks when I put the payloads on. In fact, speaking of merge blocks, let's switch them back on. Ready for the next mission. Good. I am pleased. Almost made up for Vader being smashed to pieces again. Looks like all the pieces from Vader have despawned now as well. So I didn't even get to salvage any of it. Fiddlesticks. Do you know what? That base over there is probably going to despawn as well, unless I get something over there pretty quickly. Oh hum. Okay, right, well I'm going to call it there. And thank you all once again for watching. And I will see you in the next episode. If you did enjoy this, please press the thumbs up button and please leave a comment. Like I said, if you've got any other suggestions with ways, unique or different ways we can take out these hostile bases, especially without dying, that would be a good thing, then yeah, let me know and we can try a few things out. And until then, I will see you all later.